الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Where do we stop at now?
I think we're on
chapter 41. باب من عال جاريتين أو واحدة. All right, look the word ala. It's from ala, from a'ila, or from ala, from faqr, or from family. Look it up.
Almani, do you with the ma'na or ma'ani? Do you recommend that?
Ma'ani, yeah. Just type in any word in the Arabic language and just type in ma'na. And then this will be the first website that comes up, inshallah.
I'm surprised there's no one in the chat. 30 viewers.
So the asl of it, I mean, because ala, the asl means it's faqr, but here specifically, it says ala rajul iftaqar hatta la yatakthura iyalakum. I got the microphone going. Tell them they got to plug in the speakers. Maybe it's something with the speakers. Tell them I'm on the microphone. But here, ala, it means here كفل أن ala أسرة كفلها وقام بما تحتاجه من طعام وكساء وغيرهما وابدأ بمن تعول. All right, this is like you take on the responsibility of taking care of part of your family. So it says باب من عال جاريتين أو واحدة. So here جاريتين obviously refers to bintain. Ala here refers to that he spends on them and takes care of them, takes on all their needs. So the chapter is whoever takes the responsibility for two girls, al wahida, or even one. All right. So this is now, like I said, this is dealing with family, but now we're out of the father, the mother. Now we're dealing with the others. So now here, this is talking about daughters. All right. So حدثنا عبد الله بن يزيد قال حدثنا حرملة ابن عمران أبو حفص التجيبي عن أبي عشان المعافري عن عقبة ابن عامر رضي الله عنه قال سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول من كان له 3 بنات وصبر عليهن وكساهن من جيدته كن له حجاب من النار. Alright, so here this is reported on the authority of Uqbat ibn Amr. May Allah be pleased with him. He said, I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, whoever has 3 daughters, وَصَبَرَ عَلَيْهِنَّ, and he's patient with them. Alright, because obviously this would require a level of patience. Raising girls is not like raising guys and boys, yeah, because boys have less needs and less care that, if a boy gets hurt, he skins his knee, you say, boy, man, shut up, stop crying like a girl, right? Go there, wash it off and be a man, right? But if the girl scratches her knee up or gets hurt, it breaks everybody's heart, because obviously there's a softness in the heart for the girls, and and then as they grow older, because they're more concerned with their looks and and things like that, so they have more requirements and more needs than boys. Boys, you can give a boy a toy gun and go send him outside and he'll play for 3 days straight and won't even come home. But the girls, they require different. Obviously, you won't want to just send a girl out playing with toy guns and stuff like that. You're not trying to raise G.I. Jane. Obviously you're raising her up to be a mother, to be a wife, to be to fulfill a role that she's supposed to have in society. That society has snatched that role from her. and kicked her out of the role of mother, of wife, of, the role that she's supposed to be. But this is what you're supposed to be preparing her for, because, regardless of what these kuffar say, she's going to be a mother, inshallah. She's going to have kids. She needs to know how to take care of her kids, take care of her family. She's going to be somebody's wife, and she needs to learn how to take care of the family, So whoever has 3 girls, وَصَبَرَ عَلَيْهِنَّ, and he's patient with them. وَكَسَاهُنَّ, and he clothes them. مِنْ جِدَتِهِ, and مِنْ جِدَتِهِ, it means مِنْ غِنَاهِ, all right, from his wealth. كُنَّ لَهُ حِجَابًا مِنَ النَّارِ, and this will be a partition for him from the fire. This will block him from going into the fire. This is a means for him of going into Jannah, inshallah. What does Shaykh Al-Albani say? Sahih.
Sahih. I think he even gave commentation.
What did he say?
He referenced, and then he said, for the Jidatihi, obviously the letter, the number 1 is over there. On the bottom it says, Ghina.
Yeah, from his wealth. Yeah. All right. So the next hadith, number 77, because all these are connected. So, حدثنا الفضل بن دكين قال حدثنا الفطر عن شراحبيل فيه ضعف. The hadith is له شواهد. So the hadith is حسن بشواهده, but شراحبيل is weak. قال سمعت ابن عباس رضي الله عنهما أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال ما من مسلم تدركه ابنتان فيحسن صحبتهما إلا أدخلتاه الجنة. So he said, this is Ibn Abbas. He reported that the Prophet ﷺ said that there is not a Muslim that that is alive and he has 2 daughters. فَيُحْسِنُ صُحْبَتَهُمَا, and he's good with the companionship with these 2 daughters. He raises them properly, gives them all the things that they need, prepares them for life, teaches them what they need to know from the deen, and everything that they need to grow up and mature and be respectful women in the community, right? So this is from the ihsan ilayhinna, from this, فَيُحْسِنُ صُحْبَتَهُمَا إِلَّا أَدْخَلَتَاهُ الْجَنَّةِ, except for that they are a means of him, and they enter him into Jannah. All right, so basically they are a means for him going into Jannah. And this, like I said, the hadith is Hasan b'shawahidi. So what does Shaykh Al-Albani say? Rahimahullah.
He said Hasan لغيره, and then he referenced the books, and then he says ليس في شيء من الكتب الستة.
Yeah. So it's Hasan لغيره because of the hadith from before.
There's still more.
The hadith before is a shahid for this hadith. So,
We're he put the number 2 at where I ended up at the kutub الستة. And then he said like كذا قال وفاته أنه في سنن ابن ماجه وقد عزه إليه جمع منهم المنذري بالترغيب وصحيح إسناده. Explanation mark.
The chain of narration here is weak, but you got the hadith before it, which is a shahid for this hadith. All right, hadith number 78. حدثنا أبو نعمان قال حدثنا سعيد بن زيد قال حدثني علي بن زيد قال حدثني محمد بن المنكدر أن جابر بن عبد الله رضي الله عنهما حدثهم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من كان له 3 بنات يؤويهن ويكفيهن ويرحمهن فقد وجبت له الجنة البتة. قال رجل من بعض القوم وثنتين يا رسول الله قال وثنتين. All right, as far as the chain of narration here, also Ali ibn Zayd fihi ضعف. So again, this chain of narration also is weak, but the first hadith of the bab of this chapter is a shahid for both of these hadiths. What does Shaykh Al-Albani rahimahullah say?
Hasan.
بشواهد لغيره or what? It's Hasan.
And he references books.
Yeah, it goes back to the shawahid. So it's got shawahid. The meaning, no doubt that the matan, the meaning of the hadith is, you see it, because the first hadith is sahih. So,
Question about the previous hadith. So the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَيُحْسِنُ. So does that mean فَيُحْسِنُ, because the vocabulary Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used, فَيُحْسِنُ, like he has to be like the absolutely best of his ability. Just فَيُحْسِنُ.
Oh, you're going to get Jannah, not for like doing like half of a job. You're going to get Jannah for ihsan. But the ihsan here is like the ihsan of doing, yuhsan alayhina. It means like he's not obviously not raising them up to like sell themselves in the street. He's raising them up to be, appropriate, proper, Islam, Quran, Sunnah, mothers, wives, according to the Quran and the Sunnah. Whether, so yeah, I mean, that's from the ihsan. So whatever he has to teach them, he raises them up with tarbiyat al-Islamiyya. There is nothing ihsan. This doesn't mean that you go and put the girls in mixed schools and get them educated, and then and lead them down this path of like imitating the kuffar. This is not ihsan. Ihsan is that you take the girls and you raise them up with tarbiyat al-Islamiyya. You show them like what it is from the deen, what their roles, what they're responsible for in the society as mothers, as wives, as women amongst the Muslims. And you teach them and you raise them up with knowledge. That's the ihsan. But as far as all this other stuff, like what they think is ihsan, and giving the girls Barbie dolls and putting them in public school, nah, this is not ihsan. Yeah, this is ifsad. This is ifsad. This is corruption. You're corrupting the girls like this. So this hadith, the last one, number 3, he said, this is Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu. He said, he spoke to the people and he said that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever has 3 daughters, yu'wihinna, it means like it gives them refuge, like gives them a home, gives them and everything that they need as a father and a person raising the children. Wa yakfihinna, and it gives them everything that they need, that they have all of their needs, food, clothing, and everything that they need. Wa yarhamuhunna, and that he has mercy on them, because again, like we talked about yesterday, even though that hadith was in Bulugh al-Maram, it wasn't in Adab al-Mufrad, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we talked about what was the hadith that we took in Bulugh al-Maram? Not the whole entire hadith, but the specific part, the shahid about the women. What?
Advise one another.
What's in Arabic, man? Istawsu bin nisa'i khayran. All right, so to advise each other to be good to the women. So because the women require a level of mercy, because if you look at the type of mercy that comes from a mother, she gives the type of mercy that she also what? She requires for herself. If we're rough with the women and we put the women through all types of trials and tribulations, what happens to the woman? She starts to become rough, akhi. She starts to, and it changes her. It changes how she looks. All the softness leaves out of her face. Even her skin doesn't even look soft anymore, So the women, they require mercy. They require, especially little girls as they're being raised up. So if you raise them up properly, giving them everything that they need to know as women, as Muslimats, and teaching them everything that's obligatory upon them and what they need to know, and they're raised up with that, it's easy for them. And you're doing it in a merciful way, in a soft way. You're teaching them and you're showing that you're doing this because you care. Khalas, I mean, there's no doubt. This is difficult, but at the same time, this is what it takes to get to Jannah. Do it. If this is what you have, subhanAllah, if Allah, I want to say, Allah gives everybody what He knows that they're capable of bearing. So certain people, if they had girls, they might, like me. I grew up with a real rough character, so I always, I don't want any daughters. And I was like almost making dua, like I don't want a daughter, not in this zaman, because it would drive you crazy. In this time period, to have daughters, it would drive you crazy. Alhamdulillah, Allah answered my dua. I got all boys. But there's other people that I saw that they were very, very good as fathers to daughters, and Allah ended up blessing them with like lots of daughters, right? And the brother like very good to So Allah gives the people what He knows they can handle, So if you are one of those people that Allah is giving you those daughters, then you have to start to show mercy and be kind, and probably if I ended up having a daughter, that roughness probably would have left. It probably would have left, because I was like, oh, look at you. And I wasn't like that with the boys, like, oh, get up, man, let's box, But it's like, all right, but subhanAllah, and the girls, once when you raise them, no doubt, it's gonna start to like, soften your heart up a lot, But that requires a lot of mercy, requires a lot of patience, and they require more care, obviously. So he said, فَقَدْ وَجِبَتْ لَهُ الْجَنَّةِ and al-batta. So Jannah becomes an obligatory for him, it becomes binding that he, if he does this and he fulfills these conditions, that he gets Jannah. Al-batta, what does al-batta mean?
And yesterday, you were telling me something Bukhari said about something, but I highly
Like forever, forever, yeah.
Okay.
Because he said, "Laysa bi shay al-batta," like he's nothing forever. It's like nobody can change his opinion about this person. So yeah, he said that laysa bi shay al-batta. But yeah, so فقال رجل من بعض القوم, and then a person said from amongst the people, وثنتين يا رسول الله, and he said, what about two? What about if he has two daughters, O Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He said, قال وثنتين, and he said, and two. All right. So yes, and like I said, this has shawahid from outside, from books, from ahadith that are sahih. So alhamdulillah, this is all, all of these ahadith. The first hadith is sahih, and the next two are hasan, with the shawahid. The last chain of narration, I mean, you got Ali ibn Zayd, sorry, but still some of the ulama still accept the hadith. Like you said, Shaykh al-Albani rahimahullah, he made the hadith hasan, not with the shawahid, but he just made the hadith hasan based on the chain of narration. Anything going on there? So we got a quiet day or what? It's a quiet day. We'll go outside and cut the class short and go outside and work.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أحسن الله عز وجل إليكم.
وإياكم.
What is the schedule for all of the classes?
It's no Thursday, that's it. For the schedule for the live classes or for which? All the classes?
All of the classes. Just all of the classes.
After Fajr, we do Bulugh al-Maram, not Bulugh al-Maram, sorry, the Mukhtasar of Sahih Bukhari. After 6:30, we do the daily hadith, and we do the Believer's Handbook for seeking knowledge. We haven't been doing those classes for a minute now, like maybe a couple of weeks, but we just started them back yesterday and today. So, and between Maghrib and Isha, kama tara, as you see.
What's your advice for a father who wants his daughters to be scholars?
Is this you asking or they asking?
No, me.
He should become one first. Because how can you push your children to do something that you didn't even do yourself? It's like because the thing is like if you put in the work and you went out to seek knowledge, even if you didn't become a scholar, at the very least, you know what it takes, right? So like you see, like for example, like a lot of these trainers, the boxers, right? A lot of the best trainers in the world, they might have become professional. Some of them didn't become professional. But they weren't good fighters. Most of them, they weren't like the best fighters, but they knew what it took to be what? To be a good fighter. And you see a lot of the good fighters, they're not good what? They're not good coaches. Because they can put in the work, but they don't know how to be patient teaching somebody else to do those things. So this is with everything. So sometimes you might even see a person, he has a lot of knowledge. It's easy for him to get the knowledge, but he has a hard time doing what? Teaching the people and being patient with the people and sitting down with the people and explaining it to them. And then you have other people that, just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah bless him with a love for knowledge, but just didn't bless him with the faculties to get it. But he's around the people of knowledge and he knows what it takes. He can tell you, he can advise you, he can say, look, man, if you want to do this, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to study. This is what you need to read and memorize. So you have to at least be that person with your family. If you're not that person with your family, then how can you expect them to do? You look at like Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, that wasn't an accident.
Oh, yeah.
His grandfather was an alim, akhi. His grandfather wrote the Muntaqa, al-Muntaqa, which is explained by Imam al-Shawkani, Nail al-Otar. So I mean, it's not like just an accident. These people did not just come from families that, look at Shaykh al-Albani. Although his father, I think, was from the ulama of the Hanafiya, right?
No, Hanafi.
It's Hanafi.
Hanafi Imam of the Masjid.
Yeah, so I mean, he had the upbringing that was there, It was always there. Not saying that that has to be the case. All right, and you know, if you look at like, for example, like Sheikh Yahya, I don't think his father was like a student of knowledge, but his father was always in the masjid. Fajr in the masjid. Like Sheikh Yahya would be with his father in the masjid. From the first adhan, from Fajr, up in there reading Quran. He was always in the masjid. He loved the masjid. He loved, you know, loved being around people of khair. So, and he raised his son up with that. So then his son comes up and now he starts to learn about knowledge and start seeking knowledge. So that khair, that love for that is already in his heart. You know, so you have to develop that. You know, you have to be a part of developing that in the child. If you're not, if you can't give it, then where are they going to get it from? So
YouTube. Someone says, well, before that he said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ustad, is boxing amateur or professional level permissible if he avoids the hitting? No, if he avoids the head by hitting the body only, wearing shorts that covers the awrah.
You're going to be getting hit in the head, akhi, and it's going to be doing damage to your head. And you know, as they say, you know what causes the most damage to a boxer?
Headshot.
Huh?
Headshot.
But when? In the fights or in the sparring? Sparring, because you're doing more training. You know, just the training causes more damage to the people. Because how many fights does a boxer fight in his career? Well, how much time does he spend sparring? So all the stuff that goes into that man, damaging the brain, actually, it's not. I'm not saying don't train to fight. Train. You see these kuffar, and if they act stupid, we need brothers that are gonna knock them out. I mean, that's the reality. You know what I mean? We can't sit here and just be a bunch of little kitty cats walking around, you know, hoping for, you know, people to just, you know, leave us alone and be nice to us. No, I mean, we got to be ready to do what we have to do. I mean, and whatever situation calls for it, because we have to defend our property, defend the Muslims' property. You know, this is part of what we do. But as far as doing it as a sport and doing it for fun, doing it for money, no, it's not permissible. It's not permissible. And then on top of that, you have other issues. Even if you said, okay, well, what about MMA? I'll just go and I'll fight and I'll do wrestling and I'll do, you know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu type stuff and just take the person down and submit them. But akhi, look who sponsors this stuff. You know, gambling is involved in it. Alcohol companies are sponsoring it. This is where all your money's coming from. So no, I mean, if that's the case, then no, it's not. I mean, even if we took out the hitting in the face aspect and the fighting for money and all this stuff, no, it's not permissible. There's too much going on, and then on top of that, you got the crowd, the drinking, the environment, the ring girls, and all this type of stuff. So no. I mean, and sooner or later, you're going to end up having to fight a Muslim. So,
this was from yesterday. It said, first he says, وَفَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ. And he said, what I asked yesterday about how should a man respond to when his wife says so-and-so. I came across it in a hadith. Is it okay if I post it?
Yeah, post the hadith and check it out later, inshallah. As far as the other hadith that the other hadith that the person was asking about, I didn't know what he was asking about until I went back and read the comments today. There was one hadith where the person was asking about the ashara mubashirin bil jannah. That's the hadith that he's referring to. Then that hadith is authentic. Sahih. And you put the whole hadith, but he put a part of it, and then he put another part of it, and another part of it. So you had just read the first part, and you gave me the phone. But it got cut off. There was more, and he posted it like later on. But that hadith is authentic. You going down the stairs to work? You going to work? تشتغل أنت؟
The yellow jacket, the construction.
All right. What's it? Any more questions?
Yes. I look up and I look down. There's more questions. So. Ustad, how can someone be protected? How can someone be protected and avoid evil eye and envy, especially if they post workout videos on social media, selfies, and other blessings?
Number
I
one.
say stay off social media.
There you go.
There you go.
Number one, stop posting these videos on social media.
Here's a bunch of hadiths. Man, there goes my blessing. The phone. Showing on the.
That's what I'm saying. That's from yesterday. There's a I don't know. I gotta guess. We'll read this later, inshallah. Because it's like a whole bunch of mixed things of hadith.
So tell them it's a pending response.
No, I'll read it. When the comments, they take about 12, 13 hours to show up. I'll read it tomorrow, inshallah. What else? As far as the ayn, man, you just keep up with the adhkar al-sabah and the adhkar al-masa. Stay in obedience of Allah. Allah is the only one that can protect you, so make sure that you keep the one that protects you pleased with you. That's the way to go. All this other stuff about putting up all these videos about exercise. What for?
Isn't it from Ruq you have to get a water bottle and recite Surah Al-Fatiha and then drink the water?
Not for the ayn. The ayn is you have to find the person that gave you the ayn, and they make wudu. And you put a bucket there and they make wudu or shower or whatever. They make wudu and you take the water and the person takes a bath with it. With a ghusl with that water from their wudu. But you need to know the person who did it. Now, if you're sitting there putting up videos on social media, well, obviously you're not going to know who did it, are you? Because you're just putting up videos for everybody. That's it.
He said, it is one hadith, but I cannot post it in one comment because of the character limit.
I understand, but it's going to take too long to read right now. So, but you need to specify what it is that you want. I mean, it's a hadith. You want to know the authenticity of the hadith, or you want to know the meaning of the hadith, or what is it? What's the issue?
This one says, Ustad, well, just to clarify, I'm assuming he's a brother. The Roach, every single, mashallah, like every time he asks a question, he always says, Ustad. He's showing respect to you. Ustad, what if we proclaim the blessings of Allah and attribute our blessings to Allah? I think he was the same one who asked about how to protect yourself against evil eye. I presume he says, like, if we say our blessings come from Allah, does this protect us?
What protects you is staying in the adhkar and staying in the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what protects you. And that's for the person who sees something that amazes him and he says, Allahumma barak alayhi. And that he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you barak alayhi. That's a hadith. Ra'a ahadukum ma yarjibukum. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you barak alayhi. So that's for the person that sees something that's amazing for him. But that's not that's him protecting you because he's looking at you. So when he sees something that he's amazed with, he says, Allahumma what? Allahumma barak alayhi. But now for you need to stay in the adhkar, keep up with the adhkar, keep up with the obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and constantly make dua that Allah protects you from these things. But I wouldn't go around doing things that will be from the asbab and from the means of these things happening to you. Showing off your body, showing off, just showing off anything. Your strength, your body, whatever, these are all means of, these things happening to you. And what's the benefit? What's the benefit? So I can understand if you like, if you, putting up videos to encourage Muslims to exercise and things like that. But, how are you dressed? I mean, you're wearing like a thobe or, baggy shirt or you wearing something that shows.
I saw some people that those get active on the workouts though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, wow.
That's that one brother from the East Coast. What's his? You know him? No.
I don't want to promote them because they got music.
No. This brother is from Ahl Sunnah. He wears a thobe and he goes out and does everything in a thobe. But I can't remember what it is. I forgot what his YouTube thing is.
And these jokers online, when they want to go work out, they'll work. The hadith, the strong believers, better, more beloved. So they put that and use that as an excuse to work out in a free mixing gym.
Yeah, I mean that going to the gym stuff. Y'all gotta kill that stuff.
Yeah, that's the
That's haram.
Look, man, a Muslim is sufficient enough for you. A pull-up bar and the ground. Yeah, and you need something else, just get like a 20-pound medicine ball, throw that thing up against the wall and do squats with it. What I'm saying, a pull-up bar, a dip bar, you can get one of those power towers for like $150. I mean, how much is a gym membership for the whole year?
Oh, it's like, depending on where you go, it could be like $40 a month.
So $40 a month. So that's about $480 throughout the whole year. But if you pay for the whole year, obviously they'll give you a discount. Whatever. Go on Amazon and you get a power tower for like $150, right? Khalas, and just use that to work out. You get one of those little, the pull-up bars that go into the doorway. And you push-ups on the ground, do squats, do one-legged squats. Khalas, you're good. Get a punching bag.
thing like for extroverts. Extroverts.
Well, extroverts want to sit around naked women running on a treadmill, while he's running, looking at her running, and talking about, المؤمن القوي خير وأحب إلى الله من المؤمن الضعيف. And he even refers to himself as a mu'min while he's running around with Mrs. Yoga Pants. Come on, man. A'udhu billah, man. This is a joke, akhi. That's like a mockery of the deen, akhi. You do what you want to do. Nobody, whatever sins you want to do them. But don't try to put this like deen, man. Got music playing, but they'll be blasting a nashi with Becky in her yoga pants, right in front of them. Come on, man.
Squats.
And they wear very, very, very tight tank tops, and they say, this is covering my aura properly. Come on.
I would.
You know what's not covering properly? He's not covering his stupidity properly, but alhamdulillah. What's next?
This one says, what advice for the brothers and sisters trying to hold fast to the Quran and Sunnah and way of the Salaf? Surah Ras.
You gotta stay around people of khair. That's it. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ عَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبُهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. What better advice? This is the advice from Rabbil Alameen to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where he said, stay patient. وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ. Keep yourself patient. مع الذين يدعون ربهم. Stay patient with the people that are calling on their Lord. بالغداة والعشي. In the early part of the day and the later part of the day. This is what they live for. They live to please their Lord. So stay patient with them. Yeah, they're poor. Yeah, they're masakin. Yeah, they don't have status in society. And at this time, the Prophet ﷺ was really trying to give dawah to the big people of Quraysh and trying to get some of them to come into Islam because that this will help promote the deen, and the spread of Islam. And there's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him, وَاصْبِرْ نَفْسَكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ رَبَّهُمْ بِالْغَدَاةِ وَالْعَشِيِّ يُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَهُ. All they're seeking in this life, they're seeking what? The pleasure of Allah. They're not seeking status in the dunya. They're not seeking money, wealth, and all this type of stuff that these kuffar are seeking. He said, وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ أَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Don't turn your eyes away from them, and because you want something from the beauty of this world. And then after that, what he say? وَلَا تَعْدُ عَيْنَاكَ أَنْهُمْ تُرِيدُ زِينَةَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَلَا تُطِعْ مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبَهُ. And don't obey. You don't listen to these people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made their hearts heedless and full of neglect with this deen. They're not concerned about the remembrance of Allah. They're not concerned about the deen. They're just full of heedlessness. So don't listen to them and don't obey them. He said, مَنْ أَغْفَلْنَا قَلْبُهُ عَنْ ذِكْرِنَا وَاتَّبَعَ هَوَاهُ. And these are the people that follow their desires. وَكَانَ أَمْرُهُ فُرُطًا. Furutā means what? إلى ضياع. يعني أمره كله إلى إيش؟ إلى ضياع. He's going to work, but he gets nothing. Everything is going to go to waste because everything that he's doing is for the dunya. It's not for Allah. So the only one that's going to give him success, and the only way we get the tawfiq is from Allah. You know, so we don't get it just because, oh, we're smart and we're intelligent and we're doing all the right things in the dunya. No, man, this is tawfiq from Allah, but you have to do those things for Allah, not for the dunya, not for status, not for the people. So as long as you remain, you know, like this, follow that advice and stay away from those people, ashab dunya, the people that are only concerned about like chasing after this dunya, stay away from them. And keep yourself around the people of khair, the people that remind you of Allah, remind you of the messenger, remind you of the obedience to them. And remind you, you know, and remind you of what you need to do as a Muslim.
This one says, "Sallallahu ta'ala ilayk." Is it permissible for someone to lie while writing, learning, and memorizing Arabic sentences to learn Arabic?
To lie? Why you gotta lie?
I said the very famous Nahm sentence.
That's not a lie. It's just writing as examples. You're not saying that like.
Maybe that's what he means.
Yeah, that's not lying. That's just making examples. Yeah, I mean, you're taking and putting the words in sentences as examples. You know, like, you know, I mean, obviously the best way to put them in honest, truthful examples, like for example, if you say, katabtu, kataba, yaktubu, katabtu, kitabatan, and then you want to put that in a sentence and you say, katabtu what? Risalatan ila ummi, but you didn't write a risala to you didn't write a letter to your mother or a message to your mother. I mean, you're just writing an example. You're not saying you literally, you know what I'm saying? You're doing this as an example to memorize the words. This is not lying. So
these two brothers, I'm assuming the brothers chat. That's just them two.
Going back and forth.
No, not back and forth. Like
with the questions.
Yeah, they're the ones asking the questions. I think it was very quiet today in the chat. It's only 8 people. This one says, Ustad, does marijuana, cocaine, and other drugs take the same ruling as alcohol? Hence, it's from the major sins and prayer not being accepted.
Yes. الخمر ما يخامر الذهن يخامر العقل. So anything that يخامر العقل, you know, it changes your mind and how your mind functions, and it falls into the category of khamr.
You see mashallah. Earlier we were talking about the brother. He's saying Ustad.
With the so as he said, it's the serious now. I think I heard the answer to like don't go to Salat intoxicated. So what would be the meaning behind that? Like,
it's not permissible to come to the masjid when you're in a state like this. Okay. You know, like we got brothers here that will sit there and smoke weed in the car and walk right into the masjid. It's not permissible. It's not permissible for that person to be here. You know?
And so what was that? And like you said,
until the person sobers up, and even the smell itself, because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, and you know, man akala min hatayni shajaratayni khabithatayni fala yaqrab salatana. You know, so he said, whoever eats from these despicable 2 trees, and you know, he said khabithatayn, where he's talking about the onions and the garlic, these 2 trees. He said, whoever ate from these 2, then he should not come close to our salat. Sheikh bin Baz, rahimahullah, when he took the hadith, he was looking at, okay, is it only for garlic and basal, garlic and onions, or is there the illah, which is the reasoning behind it, is because of the smell? So then he said, okay, well, what about a person, you know, who doesn't wash his armpits? Or what about a person who is eating other things like fijl? Fijl also causes like type of smell, you know, a radish, because when the person burps, it just, oh my God, Ramadan in Yemen, oh, whoa, boy, everybody's eating that white radish. When they break their fast, boy, they burp and they shut, and you just like, oh, wow. But the same thing with the smoking the weed. You come in and everybody can smell it. You might have tried to spray some fragrance on you or something. Trust me, man. That's like everybody. And people come up to me, hey, Assalamu alaikum. like, oh God, you know, I can smell it all through the clothes, man. The sweat, akhi, is like, you know, because it gets up in the blood and it stays in the blood for 30 days. And whatever's in the blood is going to come out also in the sweat. So even if you change your
That's
clothes,
30 days if you
Even longer.
if you're not consistent. That's only 30 days. Like if you're not don't really smoke like that. If you
I don't
smoke
even know
24/7, that's like
I didn't
3
know
months.
what
Well, urine.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you smoke all the time, like your blood is polluted with weed, it's gonna come out in your sweat. Akhi, you could change your clothes, you could take a shower, but as soon as you start sweating, just the fact that you smoke all the time, it will come out in your sweat even. So, no. That's like you stay with the same thing with the garlic. You might go brush your teeth, you might eat like 15 minutes or whatever, but the garlic, you ate it. If you ate raw garlic, it's gonna come out in your sweat. When you start sweating, the smell's gonna come out. You know, so
Garlic?
garlic, fresh garlic. Like if you take a fresh clove of garlic and eat it, because people do this for medicinal purposes. You know, because it kills like worms and bacteria in the stomach. So if you have stomach issues, what we used to do is we used to take a fresh clove of garlic, we eat it, and then we chase it with a yogurt. You know, like yogurt just to like, you know, because it's painful. Like once it goes into the stomach, like the garlic is really hot. You can feel it. You can feel it in your stomach. So you eat like yogurt with
Vinegar do
it.
that too?
Huh?
Vinegar do that?
Nah, but vinegar's fine. Vinegar's no problem.
No, I'm saying like.
It kills the bacteria, the yeast and all that stuff in the stomach, yeah. Huh?
Little Mujahid, your son,
Hmm.
he's in the chat.
What's he doing in the chat? He should be out there working. Did they get everything in there?
Yeah.
Check it, see.
So we were saying about the first person, he said he'll call you Ustad, but I think the second person, he wants to one up him. So instead of calling you Ustad, he's making dua for you. So he's like, Barakallahu.
Wa fikum barakallah.
Ahsan Allah ilayk, you know. So he says, Barakallahu tabaraka wa ta'ala fikum. What should a sister do if she lives in the West and in a household of sins, and the lessons that go on in her area are from people of knowledge who are from people who knowledge shouldn't be taken from, then her father won't allow her to be in the masjid alone, and her environment is affecting her iman. I think you meant iman in a negative way.
I would say, I mean, assuming that her father's Muslim. Because if the father wasn't Muslim, obviously the first thing I would say is go find a righteous person, get married, and get up out of it. But I mean, obviously, if that's the issue with the father, then that's not going to help. That's not going to happen. You just going to have to make dua. You know, I always say this, and I remain saying this. You know that your answers to all your problems are when? Last third of the night. The last third of the night is the answer to all your problems. Don't ever downplay that. Don't think like, oh, I know he's just going to say make dua. No, but I don't think you truly understand the power of getting up at night and making dua. So hopefully if you start doing it and you start to see those changes happening, then you'll start to realize the power, and you'll start doing more of it. But I mean, a lot can change when you're standing up in those last hours of the night, standing up before Fajr, making dua and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to aid you and assist you. Because what do you think, Allah's going to leave you? You think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if whatever test that he's putting you through, la yukallifu Allahu nafsan illa wus'aha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is never going to put you into a situation and a burden that you cannot bear. Never. So you have to have husnul dhan with Allah. If you have to have good thoughts with Allah. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is putting you in this situation. Allah knows that you can handle it. He knows that you can deal with it. But you need to go back to Him. You can't do this on your own. If you think that you can do it on your own and you can handle the situation on your own, and you're gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer greatly. And the more you see the problems are gonna become exacerbated. So if you want the answers to your problem, you go back to Allah. And He's the one that put you in this trial. He's the one that put you in this situation. He's the only one that can take you out of it. All we can do is advise. That's it. There's nothing that we can do to change your situation. That situation, it comes with obedience. It comes with making dua in the last third of the night. It's sad like how many people sit there and think like how bad their situation is. You know, my situation was your situation must not be that bad because you're sleeping all night. You know, because if your situation was really bad, the stress wouldn't allow you to sleep, and you'd be up making dua all up through the night, trying to like get yeah, get closer to Allah, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala changes your situation. But if you're sleeping through the night, then your situation must not be as bad as you think it is, because you're sleeping. You know, if it's bad, you're gonna wake up. You're gonna wake up. You still make dua, inshallah.
He added, he said, Naam, her father is Muslim, alhamdulillah. He just isn't comfortable leaving her alone because sometimes men come to the women's side.
Okay,
That's a community problem.
that's just a protective father. Good, jazakallah khairan.
Okay.
We need more protective fathers here in this world.
This one says, Ustad, how to be a person of zuhd and wara and not be deceived by the adornments, temptations, and temporary amusement of the dunya.
Stay away from crackheads. I don't mean literal crackheads, I mean metaphorical crackheads. What is zuhud, Aslan? What is it?
Oh, ترك الشيء ما لا ينفعه في الآخرة. This is Ibn al-Qayyim and Ibn Taymiyyah was upon this.
Leaving off in the dunya what doesn't benefit you in the akhirah. So obviously you need to eat. You need food because you need strength to stand up and worship Allah. You need strength and nutrition to memorize the Quran. We talked about this yesterday in the Seeking Knowledge class, even though the class went up today, but it was the class we took it yesterday. But we spoke about this, the importance of nutrition, the importance of these. So these things, you take what you need. You take what you need to get strong, to do the things that you need to do, and that's it. And you leave off all the extra stuff, you know?
Do you want to put a pause on the questions and take the hadith? Or
Actually, these are kind of cool questions today.
because, yeah, alhamdulillah, they're nice.
Because normally you get some weird, strange questions, but these are like actual questions today, like actual, like, wow, you know?
Oh yeah, your son said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. He has a question?
He said, I already got everything. LOL.
Man, stop acting like LOL, man. I'm gonna kick the LOL out of you, man. Seriously. LOL. What is this? That's what they were saying downstairs. They say when he's, in person, he's like this real cool Muslim kid. But when he gets onto the chat, it's like you can't even tell it, it's like he starts acting like American now. Like all of a sudden he's Americanized.
Downstairs said,
Oh no. See?
Downstairs said, ha ha. That's maybe where he learned it from. From Fatima. He probably learned it from her.
Yeah, so that's almost not. No, he learned this stuff from being, on these little chat things.
Really, it was after the Seeking Knowledge
I
class.
don't like saying that.
Obama was causing chaos in the land. And then I told his mom what happened. She's like, you sound like a tattletale.
You snitching on my son, huh?
Yeah, to the mother of this kid. But this one says, Ustad, how does one soften their heart and be easygoing, kind, and forbearing with the people?
You gotta ask one of those people.
Oh man, I'm the person.
I got the least.
Yeah. Hey man, I ain't like nobody.
You don't like nobody?
Yeah, I did not.
Oh, he's not like nobody.
No, I said I did not like nobody at first. I was real to myself, but
You like
I try to
us?
express. Yeah. I try to express myself more, but I don't. As far as I don't tend to talk.
Yeah, the best thing is to read the Sunnah.
No, yeah, that too.
And follow because follow the way that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how he dealt with the people, and you see how much he had to go through with the people, and then and it's just like what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ لَانْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ فَاعْفُ عَنْهُمْ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ وَشَاوِرْهُمْ فِي الْأَمْرِ فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُتَوَكِّلِينَ. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَإِذَا كُنْتَ وَلَوْ كُنْتَ فَضًّا غَلِيظَ الْقَلْبِ. If you were real hard-hearted and rough with the people, لَأَنْفَضُّوا مِنْ حَوْلِكَ. They would have all just left you. But it was that the mercy that the Prophet ﷺ showed with the people, the softness, the patience that he showed, and that's why you see the people, over time, they also softened up. You see these Bedouins that used to come to the Prophet ﷺ, Ya Muhammad, and grab him, and but he was patient with them. He never, he didn't, show like, obviously, if somebody did one of us like that, we might not have that type of patience. We know that we should, but I mean, somebody comes up and grabs me by my collar and says, "Yeah, Imam," like, boy, you better get your hand up, like, what I'm saying, like seriously, like this is not the time or the place for that, Yeah, but this is the way that the Prophet ﷺ was. He was soft and caring with the people because he really all he wanted guidance. He didn't want. There was nothing else that he wanted from the people. He wanted the people to be guided.
What happens if you feel like sometimes, I don't know, like you just maybe be too, too soft? If that makes sense, like maybe
No, but I mean, you're soft with the believers.
Yeah.
Soft with the believers, not with the kuffar, not with the enemies of the deen.
Yeah.
That's a whole different. And that's a which was the ayah? وَمَنْ يَرْتَدَّ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ فَسَوْفَ يَأْتِي اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ يُحِبُّهُمْ وَيُحِبُّونَهُ أَذِلَّةً عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ أَعِزَّةً عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ يُجَاهِدُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلَا يَخَافُونَ لَوْمَةَ لَائِمٍ. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, for the people that turn away and leave their deen, مَنْ يَرْتَدَّ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ, whoever leaves his deen and just turns away, فَسَوْفَ يَأْتِي اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ يُحِبُّهُمْ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will come with another people that He loves them, وَيُحِبُّونَهُ, and they love Him.
What did you say? How would you go?
مَنْ يَرْتَدَّ مِنْكُمْ عَنْ دِينِهِ فَسَوْفَ يَأْتِي اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ. I messed up in the first part, yeah.
Because I was reading the comments and I was like, wait.
No, I messed up the first time I read it, but yeah, and now I fixed it now. But فَسَوْفَ يَأْتِي اللَّهُ بِقَوْمٍ يُحِبُّهُمْ وَيُحِبُّونَهُ أَذِلَّةً عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. So they're humble and they show humility towards who? Towards the believers. They're not arrogant. They're not aggressive. They're not, showing their prowess and strength and might with the believers. No, they're soft and humble and they show humility with the believers. عِزَّةً عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ. But that might and that strength, you show that to who? عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ, to the kuffar. You don't show them weakness. But the believers, nah. I mean, but then, you have to understand.
There'd be times too, though. Right?
But no, you have certain people that might take kindness for weakness,
Yeah,
so you gotta limit the amount of kindness. But that doesn't mean you get. Yeah, you don't get aggressive with them. You don't, yeah.
Use it with wisdom.
Yeah, you gotta, be wise.
Regarding the garlic, they said bake the garlic and taste it better.
No, but we're talking about for medicinal purposes. You take a fresh clove of garlic with yogurt, you can crush it up, mix it with yogurt, and you take it for your stomach. What?
I think it's bad. This is for regarding anonymous and anonymous to me. No, you're not limited to any number of questions unless Imam says so. Just to clarify that.
The Imam says so. Go ahead.
Because I'm just the one who reads it. I'm not the one who controls it.
That little ice got a little.
This one says, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Ahsanallahu ilayk.
Wa iyyakum.
I had memorized the ahadith and Nawawi with the ziyada of Ibn Rajab. How many times a month should I revise all, and how long revise till parentheses likely and parentheses never forget it?
You want me to? First off, it should be I have memorized. Did you say I had memorized or have?
Had.
You only use had, the past participle. You only use the past perfect if you have two actions in the past and one action before happened for the other. I had placed my book on the table before I left the room. But you say I have. All right. The question, all right, go back. I'm sorry. Got stuck on the grammar, man.
He memorized the 40 hadith and Nawawiyah with the ziyad of Rajab, how many times a month should he revise it so he doesn't forget?
You should, in the beginning, you should revise it every day for at least the first year, and start revising it every other day. Eventually, you got anything that you memorize, you should revise at least once every 10 days. I don't think anything that you memorize, you should go over 10 days without reading it. Because sooner or later, you're going to start getting sloppy with it. But in the beginning, though, when you first memorize something, you should review it a lot. In fact, while you're memorizing it, it's good to read it, just to sit down and read the matan every single day. The 50 hadiths, because it's 42 hadiths from Imam Nawawi and 8 hadiths from Ibn Rajab. So it's 50 hadiths. How long does it take to read those? It takes about 25, 26 minutes. You just read it every day. You read it once a day, every day while you're memorizing it. So then once you memorize it, it's stuck in your head because you've already read it every single day. And then you just continue to read it once a day for at least maybe a year. Not saying that you're not going to take any days off. Whatever, Friday, say, okay, I'll read it 6 days a week. Friday, I'll just relax. Because you need to take a break from stuff. So it kind of like seeps in, cements into your mind. You got to take a break from it. But like that for the entire first year. And then you can start once every 3 days, once every 4 days.
This one says, before after, downstairs said, nah, Hamza, tell it was all back to back, LOL, cuz said he, rapper.
I did not even, what happened? This must be something that I don't know.
Okay, I told you about after the signal class, I told her that Obama was causing chaos in the land. And then she said downstairs, nah, Hamza, basically say it was all back to back because you said because Obama was going around saying he's a rapper. So I told his mom what he said.
I didn't know. You said that?
He said that, and I said, don't ever call yourself a rapper. And then I went to go.
I mean, he could be a rapper, rapping things, like rapping, not gift rapping, obviously, because that'd be haram too. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know, like rapping chicken up or something like that. I don't know, but.
And downstairs said about you saying, here they go correcting our grammar, LOL. Oh, wait, he probably did.
What to do?
Okay, back to the questions. A brother, first he said, Ustad, a brother.
See, there's a book, it's called Elements of Style. It's written by a guy, his name is Strunk. It's a little small book about 60 pages. Strunk, he wrote this book because when he was teaching, he was a college professor. I think, I don't know, you're going to have to look it up on Wikipedia or something. He was it's a long time ago, like 30s, 40s. I don't know. Look him up. I think I can't remember if his first name is William. Or just look up Elements of Style by Strunk. All right. Yeah. And so he had noticed way back in those days when because people still had education in America, which is kind of crazy because the people, No, but look him up. What's his first name? William Strunk, right? Look him up on Wikipedia. See what year he was teaching. If you go back and you look at the original SATs from the early, I'm talking about the beginning of the 20th century, the 1900s, there's nobody on the face of this earth probably could pass that in America. Nobody in America could pass the original SATs. They used to test them in Latin and Greek, all these different languages, and then all the answers had to be written out. There was no multiple choice. There's multiple choice. All this stuff came along because of what? People getting stupid. But they knew that the people were going to get stupid, and they prepared for it. Why? Because it was planned for the people to get what? Stupid. There was an actual good book about that, which is called The Underground History of American Education, written by John Taylor Gatto. It's a very, very good book, but it's very hard to find now. They have it on Amazon, I think, but they only got volume 1. They took the book and they split it up, volume 1, volume 2. But they stopped selling volume. You can't find volume 2, which is kind of stupid, right? Because that's where all the information is. So he basically showed the history, right? where they actually sent out delegations to go to India, to the Hindu schools, to go to all these different countries to see like what school system that we can employ in America to control people and make them think where they're getting education, but they're not. This was planned, and he brought from all their books. John Taylor Gatto. He's also got another book about education. It's called Weapons of Mass Instruction. That book you can find on Amazon, but that's not as good as the Underground History of American Education. The Underground History of American Education, he details step by step all throughout their writings. So this is nothing like, oh, he just made this stuff up. He brings this all from their books to show what they were doing. So Strunk, when he was a professor, what year was he? Did you see it?
I couldn't find the year he teached, but it says he was born, according to Google, July 1st, 1869 in Cincinnati.
So yeah, in the 1920s, 1930s, yeah. He was like, the early 1900s, he was a professor. So he started to notice how stupid the people were with the usage of the language. So he wrote this book called Elements of Style, which is a small book just to correct the college students, to make them so they can have like a real reference book of how to use the language correctly. But if you go back to that book is super, super advanced for the people nowadays. So this is what I'm saying. Is like you want to go overseas and you want to learn Arabic language and but you don't even have that same type of ihtimam with your own education in your own language before you even go. What do you expect to do when you go overseas? So like I said, when I was out on the streets, I used to read books, man. I used to read books. I used to be out on the streets going to jail, but I was reading books, and I go to jail reading books.
So do we say no more questions about only the ones that are already there? Or
read what we got.
Is a whole load?
You never know, something important might pop up.
Okay. This one says, Ustad, a brother is asking how to deal with a male sibling that doesn't pray and in his 30s and engaged
okay, in his 30s. I thought he was going to be younger. I beat him up. It's like, okay, in his 30s. Like, all right. Nah, it's past that age.
And engaged in all kinds of major sins like zina, riba, etc.
Yeah, at that age, all you can do is advise them. Sit down and advise them and be patient with them. Take them out, invite them out, go get some shawarma. And sit down with them and advise them. Huh?
I don't know where they sell.
Yeah, they sell shawarma everywhere. They tell me one major city in America, they don't have shawarma.
Right.
Huh? Yeah, they got shawarma here.
And halal bros. Is it? Hey, you want to go?
No, that ain't no shawarma. Halal bros, that's Afghani food.
Yeah, they sell it.
But it's not like, though, they sell shawarma. Yeah, they do have shawarma, yeah.
I eat shawarma.
Yeah. No, but I never bought it there.
You want to go tonight? I don't know. I say you have money. I say, are you hungry? I'll take it.
That's a good one. You get them, put them on the spot during the live stream. Yeah, I want to eat. It's such good food, but I don't have any money. Make them have to say, oh, I got you, akhi, because now it's all in public. Yes.
Money doesn't have a place in my heart. Wallahi, money does not have a place in my heart. This one says, oh, Allah al-Musta'an.
You want to go with them to Halal Bros?
I need
the problem is you have to bring them back. That's far. It's like by Fresno, right? Master Fresno, right?
Yeah, it's right around the corner from Master. This one says, Allah al-Musta'an. That sounds like you. See what you say. It is good. How can one pray in the last third of the night these days? I live up north from you.
Nobody said you had to pray. Make dua. If even right now, I mean, I can understand, you guys, you got very, very, very short nights, but you can get up 30 minutes before Fajr and make dua. And take the time between every adhan and every iqamah. The dua is mustajab. Look at those times when the dua is answered. Friday, the last hour on Friday.
You said that doesn't work. Remember when I told Qais, I said, it's Friday and it's the last hour, and you said that's not true.
I didn't say that.
No, you said there is an hour in Friday, but you said it's not specifically. the last hour.
I was saying that there was ikhtilaf amongst the ulama. Some of the people say, Shaykh al-Uthaymin rahimahullah was on the opinion that it's when the khatib sits down. I'm not with him on that. I was just talking about the other opinions of the other ulama. No, there's an hour on Friday, and that's the strongest opinion. That's towards the last part of that day. Yeah.
Those Sulaiman al-Ruhaili, he's on that opinion too. That
Mm.
it's on the last hour of Friday, and he used the hadith to support it. It was all right, let's talk about Amazon.
Talk about Amazon.
It's a siwak toothbrush off of Amazon, the same as a regular siwak.
What, from the ground?
Mm.
Man, those things are garbage, man.
Hence,
Oh, the fresh miswak from the ground. That's the best thing, man. That's like, next to a righteous woman.
maybe he doesn't know.
Give me a righteous woman and a fresh siwak and a sweet potato pie. Okay, I'm good to go, man. You can keep whatever else from the dunya, except for books. I need books. A righteous woman, fresh siwak, and a sweet potato pie. And an air conditioner, especially in Fresno. And an air conditioner, yeah. It's too hot up here, man.
Hence, we get rewarded for. No, he says, yeah.
No, you get rewarded for it. It's just siwak, You're using it, for, following the sunnah. But as far as it being the same as like the actual taste and texture of the real fresh one, no, not even close.
I ain't never had one.
Now, you had never had one if you haven't been overseas, because these ones here are not fresh at all. The fresh ones, you can take it and you can bend it like that, And then when you chew on it, it's spicy. It burns your tongue. And, it's like, when you're you chew the bark off the side of it, and you bite into it, you just like, it's like biting like a chili pepper. And the real fresh ones, oh, it's nothing like it, man. Nothing like it.
His question was still the same question. It was, likewise, using a regular toothbrush to keep our mouth clean when we meet Allah in prayer. And because Allah is beautiful and loves beauty, so we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, that still falls into the same category, because the thing is, it's about brushing the teeth. And the Prophet ﷺ used siwak. That's what they had.
This question says,
we don't have siwak here, like not the fresh ones, and not and it's too expensive to keep ordering those even from Amazon. So you use what you got. The whole point is just to keep upkeep yourself and keep yourself, I guess you could say, presentable, right?
Yeah, don't say presentable. These people, they take presentable as shaving your beard, having pencil.
Nah, I'm talking about within the confines of the Quran and the Sunnah.
Because if you tell people you gotta look neat to them, wallah, is shaving your beard, getting a taper, wearing, like a picture of Michael Jordan on your face. That's what
on your face?
No, on your. Who cares? But, I don't wear any of that.
You gotta wear a picture of Michael Jordan on your face, man.
Technically, yes, because they have it on their head, and the forehead's part of your face. So I'm not too far off.
Two more questions and let's go. I'm hungry, man.
Halal bro?
Huh?
Halal bro?
I'm not going to Halal Bros at 11 o'clock at night, man. You're crazy.
Well, Mujahid said,
you're going to be praying Fajr in the bathroom. That's where you're going to be. The whole Fajr comes in, Fajr goes out, and where are you going to be at? You're going to be in the Halal Bros in the bathroom.
Mujahid said,
but they got some good food, though.
He said, your son said, I learned it from Saudi Arabia, not America.
Yeah, I know. That was kind of late response, though, but yeah, I tell you.
Oh, he said this earlier.
Oh, okay. You just took a long time to read it. That doesn't count as one of the questions, huh?
He said, this one says, أحسن الله تعالى إليك.
Well, yeah.
Is it true that... I skipped one. Yes, I did skip one. He said, وفقهم الله تبارك وتعالى. What does الفاظ الكفار mean? الفاظ الكفار. If you want to read.
I don't love the word.
الفاظ. Like that. Purple emoji. My purple profile picture.
I don't know, because you got two sentences that are ma'rifa, and it looks like it's supposed to be mudaf ilayhi, so I don't know. You gotta fix that. I don't know. Now you got to deal with your Arabic grammar now. Because the kuffar here is not a sifa, so you can't have it ma'rifah. So obviously it's something like, it's supposed to be mudaf ilayh.
This one says, is it true that would rather seek knowledge? This, you have to rewrite your question. And he says, but he's saying is, well, from it, it means was seeking knowledge more valuable to the Salaf than their wives and children and those beloved to them?
How are you going to teach your wives and children? What are you going to teach them? How are you going to raise them up on Islam without knowledge? Knowledge is everything. That should be the most important thing in everybody's life. Because without it, nothing. We do nothing as Muslims. Who are you going to teach? Who are you going to? Your daughter comes with the most basic, question when she starts going through her issues in puberty, and your son also when he starts to go, and you can't even answer the questions. You have to go, let me take you to Sheikh Fulana. And then on top of that, because you don't even have knowledge, you don't even know if the person that you're taking him to ask these questions, if he's even a trustworthy individual. He could be just giving you some type of fatwa that he heard his father tell him, or something that's just based on some madhab, and he doesn't even know the adillah behind it. So, yeah. So knowledge is the most important thing. It is the most important thing. I won't say it's more important than your family, but think about it. What are you gonna, you should be seeking knowledge before the family anyways, before you get married, and preparing so you can have something to teach the children.
How to deal with marriage problems, remember? We were learning how to decide. But no, downstairs is not talking about, she said, no eating late for you. We've been on a roll with classes. Don't need that messed up.
No, but there's no class tomorrow. It's Thursday.
But nonetheless, so this is the last question according. And this is the last question anyways, whether you said the thing. Can a student of knowledge be a formidable and strong talibu ilm if their hifz isn't so good? He's not much of a memorizer, but he strives to put whatever knowledge he learns into action. Implementation and dissemination, of knowledge. I don't know what dissemination.
To give it out. Most of the people that you see today from amongst the ulama, I guarantee you they'll tell you that there were other people that they studied with that had way stronger memories than they did. But they worked harder and they were more consistent. It's not about your memory. No doubt having a strong memory has its perks, Bukhari wouldn't have been Bukhari without his memory. Imam Ahmed wouldn't have been Imam Ahmed without his memory. But it wasn't the memory alone that got them to the state that they got to. Bukhari, when they asked him about this, when they asked him what's the best thing to, like a ilaj, like a medicine for a bad memory, he said what? Takrar. He said, وَمَدَاوَمَةَ النَّظَرِ. He said to keep repeating and repeating and repeating what you're memorizing and to constantly be looking at it. So, this is the type of person that Imam al-Bukhari was. This is what made him what he was. Even though he had a strong memory, he would constantly revise and review. So it wasn't like he just relied on that. So if you have a weaker memory and this person has a stronger memory, but you're working and you're consistent and you're working twice as hard as that person, 3 times, you're reading, trying to understand what you're memorizing, because he might be memorizing and not even understanding what he's memorizing. But you're trying to seek to understand it. So you might get a person who's memorized Bulugh al-Maram, he's memorized the Quran and he's memorized Bulugh al-Maram. And he really, really had to, struggle to get those 2 things. Another guy, he's memorized the Quran, he's memorized Bulugh al-Maram, he's memorized Riyadh al-Salihin, he's memorized Sahih Bukhari, Lu'lu' al-Marjan, or whatever, right? But then this person that just memorized the Quran and Bulugh al-Maram has a stronger understanding. And he really sought to okay, I don't have much, but I'm going to make sure that I understand this fully. And he goes and he researches and he reads and he studies and he's persistent. He's going to surpass all those other people just because they got a stronger memory. A lot of those guys with the strong memory, they don't have the patience to sit down and read. They don't have the patience to sit down and revise. You know, they just keep memorizing. They go on to the next thing. What's the next thing? What's the next challenge? I'm gonna memorize Bukhari. But you know, how much did he understand from it? Did he sit down and go through Fath al-Bari and try to understand every single word of Bukhari and everything that, you know, every hadith? Very, very, very rarely you're gonna find a person like that. So I mean, don't you know, that should never ever be something that worries you. You know, like lack of memory or weak memory. I have a horrible memory. Like, I used to sit down and I used to memorize one page of Quran. It used to take me 7 days. You know, when I was in the match, you know, so, you know, you just keep working, not stopping. You got to memorize, so you just keep doing it, and it just gets easier and easier and easier. But, you know, you also have to realize, okay, my memory is not the strongest memory in the world, so let me make up for it with other things. Read a lot, research a lot, you know, try to understand, sit down and really focus and understand everything that you memorize.
Can you take notes during the khutbah?
No.
No? All right.
You can't do anything but listen.
All right. So why would you forget? How would you forget?
Go to YouTube. Listen to it on YouTube, inshallah, when I put it up the next day, and then take notes.
This is, I know you said last question, but it seems like an exception.
Better hurry up, because my stomach is growling, boy. They're going to be hearing this on the microphone. I was trying to talk loud, so I could talk over my stomach growling.
He said, will there be a Q&A tomorrow as well?
There's no class tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow, get ready for the khutbah for Friday. Friday, inshallah.
And when is the next live class?
Friday, inshallah.
There you go.
That's it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.
Were you there on that, brother Abdullah? Yeah, I told him, I said, you know how to give adhan? He said, yeah. I said, do you want to call it? He said, yeah. I said, yeah, but you're not going to call it. I will call it.